Welcome to Leon Does Live, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be showing you what I have been cooking up over the last couple months or so through my college projects. So sit back, relax, it's a nice little 27-minute vlog style documentary about the city I live in, Bradford, and the hidden gems behind it. So sit back, relax, and of course enjoy this video. We often walk around towns and cities and not pay attention to the hidden gems that lie within them. And we also forget parts of our childhood and places that seem so important to us from a young age. We often walk around towns and cities and not pay attention to the hidden gems that lie beneath them. But I want to ask that question. What are these places like now, and what was it like back then? My name's Leon and I love to explore different places, learn the history about those places and the future that the place has in our society. And I'm going around my childhood city of Bradford to see what it is like now, what it was like back then, how it relates to my childhood, and what the future has to offer. So what is the city like now? What was it like back then, and how much has it changed since my childhood? Let's find out. First of all, I am in the centre of Bradford, which if you could have guessed, is the main part of the city. It has the most things to do, it's the most attractions, it's in such a condensed space, and it attracts most people. But have you ever truly wondered what really is in your city? What is in my city in particular? Let's find out. First of all, the Kergate shopping centre is going to be no more in a couple of years, as it is set to be knocked down and turned into modern flats, houses and retail space as part of a huge regeneration. We can also see signs of the regeneration project throughout the city, as large swathes of the city is now pedestrianised, taking away what used to be road and replacing it with paths and greenery. And as you can see, we are here in one of the new projects that they have done in this city, and this is the new and improved city park. This used to be a road, it used to be a highway. Now it's a lovely green space. And I can't lie, I sometimes just like to come here and chill and relax and just, get away from the busy city life. If I just, want to sit here, eat some food, that's what I do. But now, to be fair, a lot of people like to criticise new stuff that they've built in the city. But I generally think they've done such a good job around it. I mean, these right here used to be old tram tracks you dug up and they put out here for people to see. I think that is really cool. Me personally, the changes that has happened to Bradford is quite big and meaningful, because I just remember this to be one road, but now it's a nice people path. You've got green space and you've got locales. And I won't lie, I don't miss the fact that this has changed, because you're getting used to it, and you're getting used to it when you grow up out. But, being a lot more mature, growing up, now I really do like the fact that this place it's changed. And I think overall, a lot of young people will see this as normal, like it will allow the city to improve and change. Yeah. But when we're talking about changes around Bradford, we kind of have to talk about this place, the Broadway Shopping Centre. Now, ever since this place opened in 2015, this place has been shrouded in controversy. Marks and Spencer's shut down here, so now we need to go all the way onto Leeds to get plastic pigs. What a joke. We talked about this place has been, it's had an up and down roller coaster, so let's talk about it. This place still divides many people around the city and in Yorkshire as a whole. Add to the fact that this place's construction was delayed many times. Originally it was scheduled to open in 2008, but it got pushed back to November 5th. I actually visited this place on opening day. I think I was about 7 or 8 years old. And yeah, to say that this place opened up on the 5th of December was kind of ironic that this lit fireworks in the city, metaphorically and literally. I actually remember on the opening night where I had to quickly eat a sausage roll because you're obviously not allowed to take food in that, and it was crowded, so it's not really a good place to eat. But yeah, big childhood memories. However, speaking of which, the next place we're gonna go with that was my childhood, and unfortunately for some people, it won't be anyone else's childhood. So this place right behind me, this place is the Kergate Shopping Centre, and fun fact, this place in the year will be no more. This place is scheduled to be demolished. Personally, I think that's a very good way of the city to go down, because places like this where it's a lot of, brutalist in structure and a lot of, very old architecture, maybe creates a bad impression on the city compared to, say, Leeds, where it's a lot more modern. So behind me is the now doomed Oslo Centre. So if you couldn't tell, like all the clothes shop, all the shutters, all the graffiti, like this place is now permanently closed down, and that is because this also is earmarked for demolition. And I believe this is one of the first things that is set to be demolished. But honestly, I remember coming back to this place because my grandma used to come here, get some fresh eggs, get some fresh meat from the market, and yeah, I'd sometimes accompany her. And now, this place is no more. This place is completely shut off. It's going to be destroyed soon enough. So, yeah, it's not really to come back here, but even where we're standing right now, this all is quite new. Hopefully, we can get more of this in the city centre, maybe. Maybe it'll be a nicer place for a lot of young people. Personally, I kind of like the idea of the city changing, of a new group of buildings, a new, place to hang out or to just see things. But I like the idea of that open because I think that shows, development and how the city will progress over time. Because let's look at Leeds, for example, very built up, very modern, very new. I think if Bradford can try to replicate that a little bit, or put its own twist on it, maybe that would be a good point. I'll be sad to see these places go because I've remembered them a lot from my childhood, but I think now it's time to move on because it's all of us to let go. Okay, so we know that Bradford has a load of old buildings and interesting architecture, but have you ever considered to think about the history behind those buildings? Let's go have a look, shall we? First of all, we start at the City Hall, which now is the main office for Bradford Council. This building is a fantastic piece of architecture and is a huge symbol in the centre of Bradford, which is ironic seeing that most of the decisions made around the city is in this building. In fact, this building used to be two separate different buildings. In fact, you can even see where the building was split if you look around the building. And then our next place on the list to visit to is a little place around the back of the Bradford called Little Germany. Most of these buildings date back to the mid-19th century, and to this date is a place of architectural interest across the whole of West Yorkshire. This place is so popular, it is often used to film movies and shows such as Peaky Blinders, Downton Abbey, and many, many more. And then, of course, Waterstones. I mean, how can I not talk about this place? Obviously, the building it is in, it is the Corn Exchange. It is one of the most prominent buildings in Bradford as a whole, and it has an incredible history behind it. No, this wasn't a place to get your corn on the cobs. It was actually where a lot of the wool industry within Bradford was based during the industrial era. After deindustrialisation happened, the building no longer had a purpose, but since then it has been reused and repurposed and kept up to scratch. And then, of course, how can I not talk about this place? The interior of this Waterstones is absolutely phenomenal. I think it got ranked as the best Waterstones in the entire nation by people on social media. And of course, you've got to trust everything on social media. Am I right? Jokes aside, this place is absolutely incredible. Okay, so I've talked about a lot about the above ground things, but what about a true hidden gem? Well, behind me is Sunbridge Wells, and the epitome of hidden gem is literally this place. This place is under Bradford. Nobody ever talks about it, or rarely does, but it is absolutely incredible. This place opened in 2017 as an underground maze of small businesses connected through 4 different entrances. The origin of this place is quite grim. This place used to be a bomb shelter during World War II. After the World War, the bomb shelter was no longer needed. Therefore, the place fell into dereliction, into a wrestler called Big Daddy, and yeah, that's no joke, generally that was his name, bought the place and turned it into a nightclub called The Little Black Fat Pussycat. Eventually, the place shut down again and fell into disrepair once more. This was until a guy called Graham Hill explored the tunnel and saw the state of the place physically. He had an idea to get the place fully operational and functioning again, so he slowly brought back parts of the tunnel, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and now it houses a smorgasbord of bars and restaurants, all tucked away under central Bradford.
Now I'm going to be completely real with you all. I had no idea this place was even a thing and was even real until only recently. I think that just shows how much of a real, true, hidden gem this is. It's quite literally under Bradford. You go through there, it's not open today, but if you go through there, it takes you underneath an actual road, underneath a load of buildings, a load of businesses, and there's some really nice businesses. There's a pizzeria, there's a couple of breweries, there's a couple of bars, there's a couple of restaurants. It's a really nice place, even to go for a night out. Now, to be very honest, it's very nice just to walk around the city and see all these cool, interesting and historical things, because you don't realise just how much history a city can have, especially one that is like Bradford, that has a lot of old buildings and interesting architecture. And it's just interesting to go do a deep dive into a city to see what the history is really all about when it comes to their past and even the future.
That's only the centre of the city. What about the outskirts? Well, 10 minutes away from Bradford city centre on the bus, you can find this place, Cartwright Hall and Lister Park. And you may think that I'm just talking about a park, just a normal place where people come on a nice day like it is today to relax, but this park is actually quite special. This is one of the biggest parks in the entirety of Bradford, potentially even West Yorkshire, and it's also one of the most famous and most visited. And that is because the place behind me, Cartwright Hall. As recently, the Turner Prize was presented here. No, that isn't an award for the tightest angle you can turn at. It's a prestigious art award well known from all around the world. The park is also pretty cool. It has an Islamic and Hindi style water garden, a nice relaxing lake with water boats, and overall it's just a nice park. No, I'm not gonna lie here, this wasn't my childhood park. In fact, I lived quite far from here. I lived the other side of town. But you know what, now I've walked through it, it is a really, really nice park. It looks even better in a day where, it's mostly blue skies. No, we don't get that much in the UK, but it's pretty good. But yeah, I can see why this is a very popular park. I mean, it's just something that would be really nice to have in your back garden.
Speaking of places that have historical interest to quite a lot of people and a huge tourist trade to this present day, Saltaire. I mean, where do I start about Saltaire? Saltaire is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. World, that's a big word. I mean, this place is really cool, and I remember coming here on a lot of school trips. We can't go into the mill today because it's actually closed on my day of recording, so that's a little bit of a shame, but hey ho. I've been in this mill quite a few times on school trips, especially the history trips, the geography trips. It's a very interesting place. And I mean, this isn't the only mill in West Yorkshire, and in fact across the country, isn't used for tourist trade and isn't a place of historical interest. So maybe go give your local mill a check, see if there's actually something cool about it.
Saltaire is a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its contribution to Bradford's economy within the industrial era. The village was built between the years of 1851 and 1871 to populate workers from Salts Mill. This was because most parts of Bradford were slums. For most workers in the industrial era, living conditions were horrendous. So Sir Titus Salt decided to build Saltaire so his workers had better living conditions. Therefore, would work better and produce more stuff.
Back in the day of the Industrial Revolution, these buildings were seen as very modern. This place has actually been named one of the best places to live in West Yorkshire, and in fact, the entirety of the north. So if you do live local, or if you have a lot of interest in here, please do give this place a visit, because it is really nice. Another interesting thing about this place is that it is actually home to the River Aire, which you can probably hear in the background, and the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, which is just below me. And as it said, that canal goes from Leeds to Liverpool. And it also makes an amazing footpath just outside of the mill. So I'm now walking through Roberts Park. The wind has just decided to come out, so Georgia's took a little badger, please bear with. But this place is really cool, I can't even lie. And I remember coming here a lot, especially when I was like a kid, obviously with the school trips. Obviously, kids, you know, they need to burn their energy off. So, you know, you come to this park, I mean, look at that view, look at the mill behind me. That's quite something.
Now I can't lie, even being around here, you know, even going on the canal bed, I'm honestly going to be real with this, I generally have picked up such a love for this place. I mean, especially on a really sunny day like this, it's just really, really good to come around here, experience a bit. You've got a lot of bike people, you've got a lot of walkers on this canal path too beside the mill, and you have a great view of the mill on both sides. So yeah, would I recommend this 100%, and I think a lot more people should come down here, especially if there's a place similar to this around your area. You should definitely see if you've got that place, and you should definitely try and get a lot more involved with it, because I promise it'll be very much worth your time.
So that's obviously quite fascinating, but what about a place a little further afield? Because this place has a very cool history, and it's around the train station.
I'm now on the platform that runs the Keighley-Worth Valley Railway. This historic rail route carries a classic steam train and runs from here in Keighley all the way over to Oxenhope. But if you didn't already know, halfway down the route you have Haworth and Oakworth. If those names don't ring a bell to you, let me tell you that they were the places that were featured on the movie The Railway Children. It's pretty cool to see that was filmed literally in the backyard of Bradford. Now I've actually been on this railway, I've checked the timetable. The train probably isn't going to come for like the next hour, so unfortunately we can't film the train. There'll probably be some YouTube footage on your screen right now of the train. I went on this train line a couple years ago. I was like 12, 13 years old, and it's quite something. It's a proper classics, you know, steam train, goes all the way to Oxenhope, through Haworth, through Oakworth. It's a very interesting rail line, and if you're a big train enthusiast, then I'd definitely give it a shout. And if you didn't realise that there is actually the rest of the train station here, so you can get your trains into Leeds, into Bradford, across the country. And the best thing is that you can even get on that platform and not have to buy a ticket. It's completely legal, I'm not breaking any laws. You can buy a ticket from like the ticket office. It's like an old-fashioned one. You don't need to buy a ticket to get on the platform, and that's probably one of the best things about it. And of course, the train station isn't just the only thing in Keighley. You have a nice little market town here now. I'll be real, it isn't the biggest, it isn't the best, but you know what, it's a nice quaint place that you've got your basic stuff, you've got everything that you need, everything, not maybe everything that you want, but you've got a lot of different things. And I'm gonna be real, it's a really nice place. So, you know what, I would definitely come down here too, because maybe it's just nice to get out and go a little bit of exploring, especially if it's a place that you don't necessarily know. So Bradford is a pretty big city, we won't lie. I think it's got like a top 10 population in the entire country when it comes to population size. But compared to its sister city, it is quite minuscule, and it could learn a lot of things when it comes to regeneration and growing into an absolutely huge city. And of course the city I'm talking about is Leeds. Now, I'm in this like little like pocket park right in one of the new development areas in Leeds. It's called Ayr Park. It's named after that because it's literally situated right next to the River Ayr. You know, coming to Leeds, you see a lot of, you know, where it's excelled, where maybe Bradford hasn't. Got a lot more modern, big buildings. It's definitely a lot more popular city. There's more to do, there's more businesses, there's more shops. I didn't come to Leeds a lot as a child. Obviously, I stayed in Bradford, I lived in Bradford. But there were just some things that, you know, you've got in Leeds that you haven't got in Bradford, so you kind of have to come here. And I think, you know, the more you look at it, you know, sometimes you want to be in a big city because, you know, that's maybe where your people are. You know, with Bradford, if that can happen to Bradford, there's no stopping it. I also think that's showing, you know, where Bradford could be in the future and, you know, what it can base itself off of Leeds. I think that also gives it, you know, that extra motivation to become a better city. One of also the biggest reasons why Bradford lags behind Leeds is the train station behind me, because Bradford's train station is considerably smaller. You compare this fact to places such as Leeds, Manchester, even Huddersfield, who have better rail connections. There were some plans to make a bigger railway station in Bradford, but who knows whether that is or isn't going to happen anymore. In its prime in the industrial era, Bradford thrived on the use of the canal and the river. Now other places have adapted, and Bradford hasn't. Now, to be completely honest, Leeds has its pros, it has its cons too, so does Bradford. So does every place in the country, to be fair, but I think if Leeds can teach Bradford a thing or two, and if Bradford can learn a thing or two from Leeds, this place, honestly, if there was a coalition between two cities, I think it'd rival London and a lot of big cities across the world. And Bradford, you know, if this is what you want to look like, you want to look even better, then maybe just look beside you, because this place, Bradford, you've got a lot of potential. The last spot on my tour takes me to a place about 10-15 minutes down the road from Bradford that practically raised me. So 10 to 15 minutes in the direction of Halifax, you can find a place called Shepherd Hall, and let me tell you, that was my childhood. Now, yeah, it may be a park with a cool hall, small cafe, and a lot of green space. And to be fair, amazing views. I mean, look behind me. That is a really nice view. As I said, this place is very special to me. You see, every summer I used to come here with my family, my mum, my dad, my sister, my brother. You know, we'd have a nice little walk around the park. We'd go on the lake. There's a little train you can take that takes you around the perimeter of the park. It was a really nice experience. Now that's adapted. We've now got a dog who's a little bit of a menace, especially when we go to parks. He loves a park. When the world's changing right now, you mean, look at Bradford. You've got the whole regeneration thing here. Look at Leeds. You know, see the amount of modern high-rise building. I mean, this place, it just serves as a constant reminder to say, you know, just come back here, see my childhood. It's super relaxing. It's a really nice place to come. I mean, this place is probably going to shape a lot of memories for a lot of younger people, especially around here. And yeah, it's just, you know, it feels mature just to, you know, grow up and see that, you know, other kids are going to come here and they're going to have the same experience as I did. This is my childhood, and I'm not ashamed to say that. And it's a nice retreat from just the madness of day-to-day life. If you're watching this, if you're about, you know, 17, 18, even if you're a little older than that, just go back to somewhere that meant a lot to you in your childhood, because let me tell you, it will feel good. It will feel very good. Well, obviously, as mentioned before, it is my childhood park, and I just feel like it's a great place to go if you just need to clear your head, clear your mind. I'm just coming up to it right now. There's something really cool about this park that I didn't even know was here when I was a kid. Let me just show you that now. So, we're here. This behind me is Shibden Hall. But personally, walking up here, it's tough, but you do get a great reward. I mean, look at this view. That is quite something. So yeah, would I recommend coming down here or just going down to any park? Yes I do. I think doing this video, I think looking around the city, looking at the things that necessarily
aren't as it always seems, and things that are necessarily not, visible to the unseen eye. I think it's made me appreciate this city a lot more. Granted, Bradford has its ups, it has its downs, but it just shows you how much detail goes into a city, how much things are there to do, because I think a lot of people say that, well, cities are just boring, but maybe they don't see everything that's in a city.
Granted, the city is far from perfect. It is still a crime hotspot in parts, and some places are evidently struggling with poverty and antisocial behaviour. But that isn't going to disappear imminently. The city has a lot of work to do to shift its negative stereotype. That will take years, if not decades, if not centuries. But I think the city is going in the right direction personally. New development schemes, more attractions, more public incentives have made the city more attractive. Doing the script as I speak, a new e-bike rental scheme has just launched in the city, and hopefully this will allow people to see Bradford more than just a slum, a shithole, a hotspot for crime.
I, I think I'm not gonna lie here. The nostalgic part of me, the young part of me, the part that, remembers this city from my childhood. Uh, I don't want the city to adapt through that. But at the same time, I understand that if the city wants to grow, if the city wants to improve, then adaptations are where it's necessary. And even where I'm sitting, this is a part of an adaptation, and I absolutely love this place. So there's definitely good things that come into adaptations. I know that Bradford's got a huge future ahead of it. Ultimately, if we want the city to be good, it starts with me, it starts with you, and it starts with all of us. And in a time where world peace is going out the door, maybe we should just come together, work together, and live.